Alright everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case. Over on Rumble, of course. Unpause and repause. Just to make sure that I don't have to see my ugly mug in triplicate. I already have to see it in dual, That's bad enough. Why the hell would I want to watch myself 3 times? Might as well hook up a mirror, actually. By the way, I did want to point something out. This channel is now being consistently rated by people that don't like me. Mainly the Kino crowd and the Kiwi fuckers, so forth. So if you see something like, I haven't watched him in several months, what's wrong with him? Yeah, that's scripted. I've seen that from multiple individuals across multiple platforms. That's usually indicative that it is a pre-scripted sort of thing. Today, we're going to do the normal news and Bantz stream, actually. It is June 6th, so it is 6/6. There's an extra 6 in there somewhere, but that's a private issue. I find that very, very funny. So yeah, go ahead and chat away. This is basically a chat room at the moment. It was kind of a slow news day. I mean, there is some stuff. We'll go to RCP and we'll definitely cover some things there, but there wasn't really a lot of meat on the bones today. It was another slow news day for the most part. A lot of this is literally just people rambling about Trump and Elon Musk, and I have a feeling that that's on purpose. I still believe that Musk and Trump chuckled to themselves in a boardroom somewhere, planning this entire thing out. So Musk is saying, like, I'm going to get rid of this car that I was given, or Trump rather said that, and Elon Musk comes out against his big beautiful bill and so forth, and it gobbles up the news cycle. And so the benefits outweigh the risks, I think, and they're both very good at doing this because they've been doing this for a long time. And I think what they decided was, hey, legacy media is simply going to breathe down our necks anyway. Let's give them something to talk about. It's just like that song from the 90s, basically. I have a feeling, this is political theater. Yeah, exactly. It's a PR stunt. Obey your system. I have a feeling that what they're going to do is come out in a few weeks and say, lol, trolled you, and the legacy media will be eating crow, honestly. I have a feeling this is a standard Trump trap, that he and Elon designed this entirety themselves, and they said, you know what's going to be funny? We're going to pretend to be feuding. It'll gobble up the news cycle because they can't help but talk about us because they hate both of us. And then afterwards we'll come out and say, what are you talking about? You people are morons, basically. And it will be amusing. And it will be politically advantageous. I do not think that they are genuinely on the skids at all. I do not believe so. And if that happens, by the way, I'm going to be laughing. I'll be laughing my ass off the entire time. It'd be funnier in the Chaz Garden. Psychocam, need a contract address. Contract? I'm hoping that you mean contact. I'm not signing any contracts at the moment. Not unless you want to, give me a bunch of money. Then that's fine. That's all right. You can always DM me on Twitter if you want. My DMs are open. Sticks666 official. Sir Thomas Drake, you've got to check Gold and Gunpowder on YouTube. I've told you about him before, but you're going to end up binging his channel's content. Oh, how am I going to bing his content? Actually, is he in the same time slot or something? I just decided to move to this time slot because a lot more people were tuning in, actually. Like, we're driving it up to the 400 level right now, and I've only been live for a couple of minutes, actually. Dustin Harris, next challenge, gorilla versus lion. Who wins? Is it a tie? I think the gorilla would win in that particular engagement. If it was a tiger, I would say the tiger wins. But with a lion, depending on the relative weight, the gorilla would be more maneuverable and certainly more capable of ripping the lion's legs off. So I'm team gorilla on that one. I've seen baboons. I've seen all sorts of crazy shit, but I have never seen a gorilla. Dicks out for Harambe, everyone. Yeah, the Kino crowd and the Kiwi fuckers really, really hate me for some reason. I'm not exactly even sure why. So they spread disinformation about me. I like to use that term. The government does too. It's rather funny. Robert Bedell, what's your opinion on the structures they supposedly found under the pyramids? That's a very, very interesting story. Yes, they used a system to determine what was underneath the pyramids. They found a very elaborate structure underneath. What this points to is that the pyramids were meticulously made, but that there was a substructure that was made first. And they're all part of the same structure. This points to a level of organization that hadn't been hitherto actually remarked upon. I believe that it was probably for ventilation and shipping goods more than anything else. It's quite clear that the pyramids were not meant to be burial mounds or anything like that, but that they were made effectively for ego more than anything else, and to honor the gods and things like that. Fascinating, actually. Opinionated Junkie, thoughts on emission and state inspections. Fuck state inspections. I think that if your car is still moving, then it's fine for the road. I don't believe in emissions standards. I don't believe that they're meaningful. They mean absolutely nothing. Oh, okay, we've got another challenge. Okay, says Dustin Harris. Next challenge. Grizzly bear versus tiger. Who wins? Do they kill each other or a clear winner? I think that they would probably kill each other. I don't think there'd be a clear winner in that particular case. I have absolutely no idea who would win. I guess it's situational. It kind of depends on the terrain, too. Just like with a gorilla. If you're in a forested area, well, the gorilla can just clamber up into the trees and throw pine cones at the fucking tiger or lion or whatever it happens to be. If it's in the plains, then the big cat would have more of an advantage. I think it would be advantage tiger here, but it wouldn't be clear. A grizzly bear could probably take on a tiger because the tiger is definitely more vicious and has more ability to do the offensive thing. But the grizzly bear also has like several inches of fat on the outside of its body and can be vicious as well, and is larger, by the way. Depending on the size, again, and the terrain, I would say they would probably end up killing each other, actually. Yeah. Fascinating, isn't it? We're going to get to some news, too. I've got RCP up, but again, it was a really, really wonky news day because even on RCP, normally a very, very good aggregator, half of the stories are simply about Trump and Elon Musk. Again, there's probably a reason for that. I have a feeling that they concocted this story basically as a joke more than anything else. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few days Donald Trump and Elon Musk appear on stage together and just laugh their asses off or something like that. This would be normal in this current political climate. Let's see. We're going to try to find some meaningful news, though. We might need to use multiple sites, however. There's not much on RCP that doesn't have to do with that particular supposed relationship breakdown. So we're going to have to scrape the bottom of the barrel. Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. We're going to have to use Fox News and CNN and sites like that. Trump slam, and of course, the front page article, it deals with the same thing. Trump slams Musk, tells Fox News he has no interest in talking to him. Well, I have a feeling that that's not entirely true. I have a feeling there will be at least reconciliation if it is a real feud, and if it's not a real feud, I have a feeling that this is one hell of a troll. This is exactly the thing that I would expect from the Trump administration, by the way. You're trolling Fox News now. Excellent. They deserve it. Billy Joel reveals 2 suicide attempts after betraying his best friend. I don't give a shit. Oh, this one sounds interesting. Middle schoolers told to cross-dress and come as queer hero for Pride Spirit Week. Yeah, they've been doing that in schools randomly these days. It's just like Drag Queen Story Hour. Let's read a little bit of this verbatim. And hopefully this video doesn't turn on. Oh, it's trying to. Here, we gotta stop that. Nope. I don't want any copyright strikes. An Oregon middle school encouraged students to dress up as drag queens and their favorite queer hero this week in celebration of Pride Month, but one parent said the families weren't notified ahead of time. At the Arts and Technology Academy in the Eugene School District 4J, students celebrated Pride Spirit Week. Wonderful. With a different theme each day intended to celebrate the LGBTQ plus community, according to a memo obtained by Fox News Digital. On Monday, students were encouraged to wear as many colors as they could for Rainbow Out Day. On Tuesday, they were told to wear all black. Shit, I'm not in uniform. Oh my god. In remembrance of lost members of the LGBTQIA plus community. I don't know what the last part of the acronym means. Used to be LGB. It has expanded since then considerably. Wednesday was Drag Day, where students were told to dress like drag queen and king or monarch, or dress as a different gender. Thursday was Queer Hero Day, where students picked their favorite queer heroes, such as Freddie Mercury or Chappelle Roan. By the way, Freddie Mercury does not appear to have been queer. He appears to have simply been interested in fucking everything that moved. He was a rock star. He had female and male consorts at various times, but we'll let that later rest. I wonder what Friday... then you have Pride Flag Friday, where students were told to dress up as the pride flag of your choice. I wonder if any of the students trolled the school by wearing a straight pride flag. That would be what I would have done. Happens all the time. Yeah, we'll get into some news, but mostly this is Bantz, so I just, telling students to dress up as drag queens and shit. Isn't that a little bit weird? Like, is there any real reason that our tax money is going to this sort of thing? Because this is a public school. This isn't I mean, if it's a private school and it's like, hey, this is the gay school or something, well, then that's fine. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if my taxpayer money is going towards these sorts of things, why is it a thing? Angela Sky, Clank from Hawaii. I caught Styx live again. Is that actually the case? Yes, indeed, it seems to be. Yeah, we need to have a straight Pride Day, by the way. I have no problem with people who are gay, lesbian, whatever they happen to be, you know, celebrating basically who they are. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't offend me in the least, whether it's kids doing it or older people, it doesn't really matter. I only ask for 2 things. Number 1, equality for straight people, because we seem to be effectively left out. And number 2, don't have adults perving on the children. If they as children want to wear the pride flag or anything like that, straight pride, gay pride, whatever it happens to be, kids will be kids. They're going to do their own things, they're going to experiment, whatever. We were all kids once. Just don't allow adults to perv on them, please. That's not too much to ask, I don't think. It's really not anything beyond a very mild suggestion. Harrison Bergeron, I have an LGBT Liberty Guns beer and boobs flag. Sure, that would be a suspension. Yeah, that would be really fun. Spider Eternal, it's my birthday today. How quickly 42 years fly by. Thanks for all you do. Happy birthday, Spider Eternal. One of the top level clankers, by the way. Yes, it is June 6th. 666, actually. Today is also my day. Well, not my birthday, but you know what I mean. Unfortunately, the moon is in the wrong phase, so the power level shifts a little bit, but still fun. Super Kyle, bro, put on pants, please. I do have shorts on. It is extremely warm here. I don't want to overheat. It's hard enough just having the pirate jacket on. That's why I have a t-shirt on at the moment. Yes, next year will be 666, June 6th, 26th. But I'm remarking on an abstract 6 that's added into the mix that applies to only my own life, so yes. And KFD, as long as they're not short shorts. No, they're just regular shorts. What I really like is like the cargo shorts that like Steve Irwin wore. Then you have like 6 pockets and shit like that. Those are really, really useful. I love those. Spifferton Sticks is 17 centimeters, big or small? Small. Would that be in inches? Like 3 inches or some shit? I think it might be even less than that, actually. Centimeters are much smaller than inches. Angelus Sky, Clank from Y. I don't care if people are gay, I just don't like that they throw it in my face all the time. I'm no prude, but what happened to privacy? Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like having the concept of pride at all is kind of in your face. Like if you had a parade in which straight dudes, sang the Menity Men song or something like that and marched down the street drinking, well, not Budweiser, this one probably Coors or something, people would find it odd. They would find it odd because it's odd. But if a bunch of people march down the street with dildos strapped to their foreheads, all of a sudden that's considered normal. Now, I don't think that there's anything ethically wrong with it or anything like that. I don't have a problem with anyone because they're gay or trans or whatever. It's just odd to celebrate the fact that you prefer penis over vagina, or, maybe in reverse, depending on your gender, which is dichotomous, by the way. I just find it strange. It's like I have a very close relative, and he happens to be gay. Um, and he's very open about this. But you'd never see him at a gay pride parade. He would, I mean, unless he was trying to pick somebody up, I suppose. He wouldn't be interested in it. He's not interested in that sort of bullshit. Actually, he's a Trump supporter who votes generally right wing and is very conservative. He just happens to be a homosexual. He just happens to like other men, which means his dating options are probably a bit on the limited side at this point. But, yeah. Michael Lee. Thickness of a pickle, centimeter. I got some really good pickles the other day, but I can't remember the brand. And they were cheap as fuck from one of the Asian markets. Food prices here in New York City, if you're getting food that's prepared, tend to be on the higher side. But if you're getting stuff from like an Asian market or one of the little grocery stores, the mom and pop places, it's actually really cheap. It's fucking cheaper than many places in Rutland, actually. And it was good quality. I ate every single pickle. It was delicious. Actually, I have a little bit of the juice left. I was overexerted and I was starting to suffer from dehydration, actually, because I forgot to take like a water bottle or something with me. And so I bought the pickles, and then I just drank the pickle juice because, it's mostly water anyway. And it also has salt and shit in it, so, you balance your electrolytes. And it worked. Made me feel much better. Nixter. Styx is about to get molested, guys. It hasn't happened yet. Hee hee. Wait, did someone just... Uncle Sham, I have some bourbon pickles that kick hard ass. So good. You mean they're pickled in literal bourbon? I've never heard of such a thing, actually. I've made pickles before. My mom, one year. Oh, she made the best fucking pickles that year. We had, again, imagine 2 shelves probably about 6 feet wide. Every shelf was double filled with pickles. There were dill pickles, bread and butter pickles, sweet pickles, dedicatedly sweet, pickled carrots, pickled beets, and then there was this one that she made, and me and Dad feasted on them for like the next few months, actually. I mean, we were still eating them in winter, especially in winter. Curried pickles. And they were fiery hot, let me tell you. Oh, they were so good. I can't wait to have them again. Like, I want like 10,000 cucumber plants out there, and I'm going to say, Mom, I'll pay you money to make the curried pickles. Make like 1,000 pints of them or something like that, and then it'll probably last me and Dad through the winter. She doesn't like spicy food herself. Oh man, they were so good. They were amazing. Angela Sky, Clank from Hawaii. One of my old coworkers was gay, but conservative as hell. He and I always found it funny that he had to be in the closet about his politics. Yeah, that's really the problem now, isn't it? Imagine that you're gay but conservative. You can only be in the closet about 1 or 2 of these things. I mean, you could say, hey, I'm straight and I'm actually a liberal. Well, then you're a metrosexual. Or you can say, I'm gay, but I'm liberal. Well, then you'll be accepted. Or you can say you're straight and you're conservative, and you'll be accepted. But if you do both at the same time and say, hey, I'm a log cabin Republican, a lot of people will renounce you. Because a lot of people on the conservative movement, they tend to be more religious and more moralistic in their views. And on the left, they're going to hate the fact that you're conservative for your political beliefs. They'll say you're a sellout. And they do the same thing with black people. If you're a black person and you vote for conservative causes, they'll call you an Uncle Tom. They'll call you a fucking Oreo. They'll use racial slurs against you. But they're acceptable racial slurs. I guess. It's very strange. Last beacon. Hey, Sticks. Ping us. Also, pickle, 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 pickle. Oh, watch, Wizard and Oz 3. Dorothy Goes to Hell. Trust me. You'll like this. It was made by the Angry Video Game Nerd. And they did a very good job on that particular movie. It's a short film. I didn't really like the ending, but everything else leading up to it is absolutely hysterical, actually. God damn it, you get rid of those pickles, start counting them chickens. That was a very, very funny film that they made. God damn it, you pickle whore. Yeah, no, it was one of the greatest things that I've ever seen. In fact, maybe I'll watch it later again. Do a double feature, that and gay N-words from outer space. That's the way to get to your laughter up. Yeah, Angry Video Game Nerd, one problem that I have is that he removed his email response videos. Because he had that one video where he absolutely lost it, and his laughter is infectious. And he was reading an email, and some obviously Asian fan said, like, you know, live like a wind rammer as you fuck, and stuff like that. And he just completely lost it. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Like, it rivals the Chaz Garden, actually. It's still available online, but I think he removed it from YouTube, actually. I think it was email responses part 4, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly the title. I've got it downloaded, thankfully, so it's not going anywhere. But boy, oh boy, was that fucking hilarious. And then Dorothy Goes to Hell. It's a classic. It's like sometimes things that are independently made are so much better than stuff that's professionally made. Just saying. You know, there's a reason why over 1,000 people are watching this live stream. Last beacon, exactly my point about the thing that you mentioned, say. I have learning disabilities as you. I've seen from my videos, and I'm also a conservative. Both people, libs and cons, would see me dead because of my background or my political leanings. Yeah, I know. Sometimes you can't fucking win. Turtle's Toy Box. Yeah, I'm gonna say that on a YouTube live stream and get myself banned. That would be wise. Helmets, no. Actual bourbon. Based Acid Fox. The heat in New York started to cook my pot plants yesterday. Yeah, it's a little bit on the warm side, let's just say that. But later we're supposed to get, I think, severe thunderstorms. And so I'm probably going to be going out later. Fuck the lightning. I don't care. I'm Thor's son. Just joking. People clip that out and think I'm taking it seriously and I've gone insane, I guess. But I really want to replicate the Tears in the Rain sort of thing. I want to go to Chinatown in pouring rain, getting drenched, and eat noodles at like a little alleyway Chinese restaurant, and then recite Tears in the Rain. And I want it all to be recorded. So I'm going to try to do that for you. Last weekend. Honestly, for the last 24 years, we have been living in a point and grunt world. Yes. It only gets worse with the advent of social media. Yeah, the attention span is falling. People are becoming monosyllabic. I've had people criticize me for using erudite language. So I speak too high, I guess. My linguistic capabilities are just too advanced. It makes me sound like a liberal or something like that. I'm telling them, no, you don't understand. If you want conservative principles to, move forward, you're going to have to outlearn your competition now, aren't you? Because it gets you better jobs, it allows you to instruct the youth more, and stuff like that. I've had people literally criticize me for using the wrong language. Well, screw off. I don't care, honestly. I don't understand. You want to have a more ignorant population? Oh, maybe the liberals are right then. I mean, they're miseducating the kids, but at least the miseducation is a form of education. You seem to want them uneducated. What the hell is wrong with you? And why do we have to make these stupid choices, by the way, in the first place? Doesn't really make any sense when you think about it. I mean, I've seen some of the worst things out of humanity on my 42 years on this earth, coming from the conservative side and coming from the liberal side. And the liberal side are... Yeah, trust me, I understand. That's showbiz. You be speaking too good, Sticks. Yeah, I didn't understand. I got a DM basically saying that. It's like, you sound like a liberal with the language you use. Alright. Okay. Some evil psychotic bitches. This would put me in school suspension, either for my beliefs or for me acting out. I got suspended a couple times. Joe, yes, I am wearing pants. Well, shorts. Believe it or not, I have legs. Don't worry, I won't show off my dick. I mean, you'd have to zoom in order to see it, so it wouldn't really matter much. It wouldn't get me banned. Let's go to the sponsors, shall we? Sometimes I forget to put them at the fore. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get delicious doggy treats. By the way, those all got eaten the other day, so they're gone already. And also mushroom pills. You got Immune Renew, you've got Radiant Energy, You've got Brain Squared, all sorts of stuff for you as well. I take it every single morning. That's why I'm so high energy. Some people wonder, Sticks, you bounce around all day. There's a reason for that. We've got BiltongUSA.com. Anton can hook you up with delicious meat. I don't believe he'll be in chat because I think he actually streams in the same slot, which is funny. Anton can hook you up with biltong of various kinds. It is a South African curing method, brining the meat, and it is absolutely delicious, let me tell you. We've also got Sticks, X, and Hammer mugs, tumblers, and shirts available, and also things like Bovrite, Vegemite. He's got sausage rolls, a little bit of everything, actually. He's building a new facility. Use code STICKS, by the way, on all of these sites for a discount. And then finally, jamandbean.com. That is jamnbean.com, where you can get Clanker coffee. I strongly suggest it. I strongly suggest grabbing a bag or two, or 20, you know. It doesn't matter. Everyone needs coffee. They'll last a while. There's also other coffee blends and teas variously available. I'll probably be having some of their Huanjig tea actually later. That's like the tea that you get at the Chinese restaurant, but it's much fresher and better than you're going to get at the Chinese restaurant. It's basically the same. It tastes exactly the same, only, you know, superior in every way. When I first tried it, I was like, holy Jesus. It's literal perfection in tea. Last weekend, and then the 2000s and George W. Bush, George W. just made things worse and roughly split the country in two. Yeah, George W. did not do a good job. The worst problem is that George W. was a method actor. I hold to this. I absolutely hold to this. I do not believe that George W. Bush is dumb. I think he played dumb. And the reason why is quite clear. You choose a rather scheming-looking fellow that looks like, oh god, danger. He looks like the Penguin, basically, as your VP. So he gets to take the blame for everything that's evil that's going on. You just look like a buffoon. It's much better to look like a buffoon in elected office than somebody who is genuinely manipulative and malevolent. This is exactly what George W. capitalized upon, the public's reaction to his buffoonery. That's why he misspoke constantly. I don't think much of that was even unscripted. I think that a lot of that was planned, actually. I think that humans and fish can learn to coexist. Too many OBGYNs can't practice their love with women. Dude, he's classically educated, apparently had become sober by that time, so you can't blame it on him, you know, relapsing into the bottle or something like that. Method acting. Some politicians are very good at this, by the way. He's not the only one. Last week, and I can agree with that, especially certain RWBY fan works. Fuck, I meant to say Earth fucking voice to text. Oh, Earthworks. Yeah, I have a feeling that George W. is actually rather intelligent and well-spoken in private. It was in public that he lapsed. And he lapsed on purpose. He did that in order to put on a stage performance effectively. So it's effectively like, imagine that all of life is a stage and we are merely players. And George W. leaned into that and said, that's actually a pretty good idea. If people think that I'm fucking stupid and they think that I'm just an idiot, they're not going to go after me nearly as hard because they'll just expect, again, I'm a buffoon. They won't anticipate the fact that I'm actually pure evil or anything like that. Yeah, smoke and guns barbecue. Feigned ignorance is one of the best tactics, actually. Exactly. Act idiotic. This is like some Sun Tzu sort of shit. When you are weak, act strong. When you are strong, act weak. If you're very, very cunning, it's better to act like a fool. Uncle Sham, remember when Bush Sr. barfed eating sashimi in Japan? That was great. Yeah, Bush's father, actually, Bush Sr., who was a member of the CIA, he also played a buffoon. Now, the whole family does method acting. It's runs in the family, obviously. He went to Japan. He was at a state dinner with the prime minister, and he got really, really sick. And he actually, I believe, passed out because he was so sick and puked all over himself and crazy shit. And they thought he had been poisoned, actually. Media claimed that, oh, we think that the president might have been poisoned at this state event. Really, he just had really, really bad food poisoning. Apparently, he can't hold his sushi. I don't understand it, dude. Sushi is delicious. What the fuck is your fucking problem? Yeah, exactly, Shaylock. He puked in the prime minister's lap, actually, because he was sitting right next to him. Prime minister's like, what the fuck is going on? And then Bush Sr. just basically keels out of his chair, and everything is total chaos. There's actually video of that if you look it up. Right now, I can't really look up videos on YouTube, sadly. Something is wrong with Opera browser. I can use it on Chrome, but I can't use it on Opera, but it's not a problem with the cache, and it's not a problem with the ad blocker. I've already done some testing. So I don't know what the hell is going on. I might be able to load it now. Maybe it's just a temporary glitch or something. I'll probably just restart the computer and see if it works after that. No, Russian Beast, sushi is not trash. Sushi is delicious. I especially like eel sushi. Now, I've developed a fondness for several other foods that have actually eclipsed eel sushi recently. Um, some of my favorite foods, eel sushi would be one of them. Borscht actually is one of them. It doesn't matter if it's the standard red kind or the Ukrainian kind. They're both pretty great. I like anything with beets in it. So, yeah, eel sushi is definitely on my top 10 list. It's no longer number one, but it's up there. Also, sushi with salmon on it. That's one of the few ways I'll eat salmon. I'll eat lox on a bagel, and I'll eat salmon sushi. But I'm really not a fan of cooked salmon, honestly. I'd prefer it to be brined or raw. I've had all sorts of good food since I've been in New York City, trust me. And then I went to New Orleans too, so I've been in two of the food capitals of the world for extended periods of time. Trust me, you would not regret it if you came for the food. Think of the Italian food you can get in Staten Island, probably. Last beacon, I don't want to see Stick Sex and Hammer Rule 34. Somebody will probably AI it at some point. I've given people permission. Based Acid Fox. AVGN was the days. Yeah, I remember when he was playing that game with Uncle Fester, and I had played that game as a kid. It was impossible. I don't think anyone is capable of beating the fucking game because of its format. I don't think that it's physically possible. If anyone here has beaten the old Addams Family game, I think it was on NES or Super Nintendo, I can't remember which one. If you've beaten it, please let me know because I'm wondering how the hell you did it. Last weekend. Oh, I already read that one. The Dashing Rogue. Despite all your age, you're still just a bird in a cage. P.S. Opera is spyware made by Pooh Bear. I'm well aware of the origin of Opera. However, it works very well with most programs and things like that. Let me check YouTube. Let's see if the glitch is cleared up. It could be a problem with Opera, too. That's always possible. Okay, yeah, it appears to have cleared up. Let me just see this. Yep, Opera has recovered its capabilities. Good. So I guess that was just a temporary glitch. I realize a lot of people prefer Yeah, Fester's Quest is the ultimate vibe check based. Yeah, I love the game. It's just, how the hell do you beat this game? I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. In some areas, it's literally impossible to get past the enemies without dying. All right. Yeah. And I was really, really good at video games when I was younger. Like here, there's a bunch of old PS2 games actually out there. They got Midnight Run and stuff like Vice City and all of those other like the classics and shit. And it's pretty cool. It's quite a collection actually, and they're all in perfect condition, so probably worth a little bit of money actually. But yeah, I spent many happy hours gaming when I was younger. Haven't done so lately so much because I just don't have time. Like later on tonight, my biggest goal is to write more of Nutty Norman. I want to rush out that and the re-release of Morbid Stories, and thankfully, I forgot my broadsheet for the new Morbid Stories in my office at home. So my mom thankfully was capable of finding it and taking a picture of it, both sides, so that I could get the title ideas. Kevs, Abrego is coming back to USA? What's Abrego? I don't know what that is, actually. Textured Puma, are you not litterbox trained? No, sadly, I just shit my pants all the time. I'm forced to wear a diaper as a result of this. You know, it's funny because there are some people that have a fetish for that sort of thing. It's rather sad, in my opinion. But each to their own, you know. Vulgar Prophet. If I was single, I'd just get a shitty little trailer and be happy in it. Women are gay. Some women are. I find that if you, under the right circumstances, the majority of females become bisexual. Just saying. I mean, we're mostly bros here, so we're allowed to tell the truth. Men, meanwhile, they just become deranged when they're, under certain intoxicating substances. Yeah, I've got a diaper on right now. You want to see it? I'm just joking, obviously, but, There will be people who'll clip that out and they'll pretend that it's a serious comment, too. That's why I say weird shit all the time, because I know it'll get me attention. It's called fun. This is, I believe, again, why Trump and Elon are pretending to feud. I can't believe that it's a real feud. I really don't believe that it's real. Trump says he won't be speaking to Musk. Yes, he will. Yeah, no, I'm not going to talk to the dude that donated like tens of millions of dollars to my campaign and basically funded my initial push legally and otherwise to limit the government's capabilities. No, I'm just gonna shadow ban him basically. I believe that. No, I think that this is legacy media hyperbole. They'll seize on anything. Like if Trump goes to a restaurant and he says, "Oh, can I have a little bit more ketchup?" They'll say that Donald Trump berated the restaurant because they didn't use enough ketchup. He clearly hates the place and will never go back, and he mumbled to himself that he's never going back, and he hates everyone there, and stuff like that. This happens all the time. They do it to Elon, too. I mean, you've got Elon Musk derangement syndrome, too, at this point. The dude has literally created the novelty of being able to send a rocket up into orbit, bring it down onto a platform that's only a few hundred yards wide, and reuse it. The man used to be the linchpin of the left with the electric vehicle movement, still to an extent is. Now people are attacking Teslas whenever they see them because Elon man bad. South African man bad. The immigrant is a bad person. That makes sense. A person who has invented and invaded many things, and they consider him evil. I don't know why, other than he funded Donald Trump. That's literally the only reason, and came out against the Democratic Party. I would never buy an electric vehicle. unless it was like a really short distance, like really super subcompact to go like around the town. Um, and in the United States, that's difficult because a lot of them, you see them all the time in Europe. But in the United States, most of them wouldn't be able to be fielded on the road, actually. They would be considered unlawful. Which is something that I do believe in changing. If somebody does just want a short distance electric vehicle or something, they should be allowed to buy it and drive it on the roads. They're paying taxes and so forth, the same as anyone else. For longer distances, though, you need fossil fuel. I hate to tell you, but electric vehicles just can't hack it. Last beacon. Oh, and speaking about your topic about method acting, and this kind of leans into my idea of superpowers. If I had my choice of superpowers, it would be shape-shifting and illusion crafting. If I could have any superpower, it would be telekinesis. Being able to throw things around at a whim gives you other abilities too. You could create a telekinetic field around yourself, shielding yourself. You could lift your body off the ground, levitate and fly. So you gain additional superpowers just by being telekinetic. I've thought about this more than a lot of people would want to think. Yeah, if I had a superpower, telekinesis would be at the top. Vampirism would probably be number 2. I mean, like, literal... I mean, I am a vampirate, but that's beyond the point. The power is limited. I mean, the ability to drain energy from another person. Well, you could use that for any purpose you wanted. You could do all sorts of magical things with it. That'd be pretty fun. Oh, I leached the life out of this person. Now I can cast fireballs for a short period of time. Well, you know, but I'm not going to because I'm too busy leeching more people to make more fireballs, so it would become a little bit of a grind, so to speak. Last beacon, mainly to try to shake the whole Trump cult and Trump Russia point and grunt talking point out of the American psyche, and then possibly maybe get some work as a scare actor in October. That sounds cool. I don't know what a scare actor is, but... Privateer of the East. They're both baiting the MSM independently for different purposes, in my opinion. Ultimately, Tesla doesn't need the subsidies. Its competitors do, however. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Musk and Trump both reached the same decision, but I think they are still in communication. The idea that Trump is just going to disown Elon Musk after all he did for him that's pretty out there. If that makes sense, I don't think so. I think the legacy media is assuming too much. Last speaking, the only problem with that is that I'm too much of a nice guy and softy to consider that line of work. I mean, I don't know what a scare actor is. Does that mean, like, in a haunted house, you, like, go boo or something like that? I literally don't know what that refers to. Oh, somebody is, Uncle Sham. Scare actors are the fairies that work at haunts. Oh, that sounds fun! Dressing up as a ghost or something like that. Hey, maybe I could do that. That sounds fun. Maybe this Halloween, maybe I'll do something like that. I'll sign up to... my mom did that once. Oh, funny story. And hello, Mom. You're probably watching the live stream. My mom once worked in a haunted house, actually, one year. And she was like the fortune teller outside. And had like a scripted line that she would tell to the group of people that were coming in. And she was sort of like dressed up as a gypsy or a witch or something like that. And I think she was the first one, actually, that you would encounter at the haunted house. And it was pretty cool. Got to go through it separately. Had all sorts of jump scares and stuff like that. But also, she went out of her way. She had a bowl with ping pong balls. And they were painted over to look like eyeballs, actually, with the veins and the pupils and everything. And they were sort of laying in a pickling bowl. And we had those for years. I wish we still had at least one of those because they were really fun. I would, because we took them back home afterwards, and we would toss them across the room and the cats would play with them and stuff like that, or you'd throw them around. So it's like you're playing with eyeballs. It was very inventive. It was very fun. My mom's a cool cat, let me tell you. Smokes and Guns Barbecue. LMAO. Did I just get booted for my Israel content? No, you're not booted. I don't mute or boot anyone unless they're spamming. Just tell us we love the Hex and Hammer mom in Lincolnton, North Carolina. Yeah, cool cat. Like, having a chill mom is pretty advantageous, just saying. Chilled and skilled. She encouraged my, love for science and stuff like that, and gardening and so forth. And so half of my success is the result of people around me. Not just my mother, but my mother in particular, also my grandfather, my father, and others as well. It ain't just me. Ah, Pike's Peak, haunted hay rides. Yeah, we went on one of I think there was one actually associated with that haunted house that I went on. I can't remember much about it though. I was a little kid at the time, but I can remember the eyeballs because we still had them like 5, 6 years later. Eventually, the I think we had to throw them out because one time Gumby, one of our first cats, which I guess Dad got from Gillingham's. It's a grocery store actually. It's a general store. It's still there in Woodstock, Vermont. And he got this cat named Gumby, who died long, long after. God damn it, he lived like 25 fucking years. At one point, he sat in the cat toy thing, and he just pissed everywhere. We're not exactly sure why. And I think that the eyeballs were in there, and so, like, pretty much everything got thrown out. Like, you could clean them off, but, like, what's the point, basically? Weird cat. All of our cats have been weird. We might as well talk about that, too. Then we had Button, and Button used to sing in the shower, and, meow along with us when we whistled the tune to the Waltons, the intro tune. And then we had Widget. That was my personal kitty. Widget was purchased specifically for me. Well, not purchased, but grabbed from, I can't remember her name. There was a woman who did some veterinary stuff and would, grab strays and take care of them and shit and try to rehome them. And Widget got massively fat because Widget had been a farm cat and had been malnourished beforehand. So he would scrounge up literally any crumb that you threw at him. He would eat anything. He would eat, well, literally anything. Anything meat, breads, anything fried. He'd eat certain vegetables. Gumby used to eat, pickles, apparently. And Button ate peas, I believe. Or was that Gumby? I can't remember. Widget would just eat anything, though. When we got him, he had worms in his system. And he puked up at one point, and there were roundworms, like, wriggling around in there, and I had to alert my mom about it. So we had to get him dewormed. After that, he just bloated and bloated and bloated. He got up to about 23 pounds. There was no way to stop him from eating. It didn't matter what kind of food it was. He'd eat everything. One time, though, he was exceptionally agile for a being that was that obese. He once chased a mouse around the room and ripped its head off, actually. And I was surprised he could move so fast, because normally he was a lethargic kitty. And also very easily frightened. And then there was another time. This was funny as fuck. Widget was generally regarded as being more of a cowardly lion sort of figure, right? Well, one time my mom was walking the neighbor's dog. She did this for a while for a neighbor named Mo, I believe. She was an older lady and had a little Bichon Frise. Widget did not take kindly to the fact that she brought it into the apartment one time. And Widget stared this dog down until it was practically crouching in fear, and then took one swipe and literally sliced its eyeball open. And then Mom, of course, had to take the dog out. And I was worried we were going to get sued or something like that. Thankfully, the lady apparently didn't notice. Fun story time, Sometimes I just like talking about things like that. Instead of having to constantly talk about politics, sometimes you can get onto different subjects, man. End of the Sky. Clank from Hawaii. When I'm closer to being finished, can I shill my comic on your channel? Yeah, of course. Yeah, when it's done, you can get a shout out. Long as I get a signed copy, I suppose. Lord George, did you see the Ricada stuff? No, I haven't seen any updates on him. I have watched his channel sometimes. I like some of the content, but I don't watch him regularly. But that's the case with literally every other content creator. I only watch a very small number of people, even semi-regularly. Most of the time, I use YouTube as a jukebox, and I simply make content. Like, I'm busy writing books and stuff like that, so I don't really have time to listen to a bunch of commentary. There are a few exceptions. Razorfist, of course. I watch him fairly regularly. A few others. Splifferton, Sticks. I don't have a fart fan in my bathroom, and every time I take a shit, it stinks up the whole house. What should I do? You'll have to cover up the smell, my friend, unfortunately. Dab Shanks the First. If you could create your own MRE menu, what would it be? Well, first you got to consider whether it's storable for long term. So, I mean, obviously, it's not going to be shelf stable if you use certain things. I would create a meal that has a packet of dried soup, because most of those are really good. It would have to have the herbal packet. As for the entree, I was really pleased with the tacos, actually. They're actually really good. Like, it's not bad at all. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. The problem is that the space required, it also requires the tortillas, and so they skimp out on some of the other ingredients. I would make something similar to the vegetarian lasagna, but it would be non-vegetarian. Like, if you could make shelf-stable actual lasagna, it doesn't necessarily have to have, a lot of meat in it. But if you can shelf-stabilize it, I would say that, and have a soup on the side, along with your electrolyte drink and so forth. What you're aiming for is preferably making it compact and relatively light, but at the same time filling. So that'd probably be the perfect MRE, like a standard lasagna. But the best ones that I've had have been the Australian ones. But I had the 24-hour ration, so I have no idea. The single meals, I don't know exactly what those are like. I'm assuming it's the same components, but I don't know which components that they actually contain. The Dutch 24-hour ration also is pretty good, honestly. And the old British... By the way, I have a bitch about rations. The old UK MREs were far better than the ones that they have now. I've tried both of them. They used to come in a box with a British flag on it. Is it space-saving? No. Is it light and easily maneuvered around by a soldier? No. Does it look cool? Yeah. Were the components better? Yeah. Much better. So, I mean, there's a trade-off when you switch to, the non-box style and have retort pouches and stuff like that, or something similar. There is going to be a trade-off, actually. But the UK ration that I did have that was in the box, it had that carrot soup. Oh man, that was good. That was as good as homemade. I've only had homemade carrot soup once. That was good too. My ex made it. She swore that she made it too spicy. I personally found it yummy. Last weekend, about the Trump man bad, Elon man bad. If I had my way, a lot of stuff in legacy media won't get on the air that they would have to go through several state corporate attaches. It would be fundamentally the end of Orange Man bad. I wouldn't limit the legacy media because they're pretty much just exhausting themselves at this point. At this point, they're just, again, it's like the stupidest orangutan in the jungle bonking itself on the head with a coconut or something like that, and finds glee in doing so. Bystander syndrome. Hey, Sticks, we don't agree on this, by the way. I'm arguing on X that women are not fit for leadership. I said, where are all the prominent women kings? It's like a handful only, I argue. Well, Olga of Kiev comes to mind. And if you look at her ingenuity, yeah, respect. Last weekend, also fundamentally making the entire Obama administration and legacy media into war criminals, which has been my long-term goal. Yeah, some of these people are war criminals, yeah. We agree on that point, at least. Tactical Gaming Network. I want the 51st state, albeit a joke. Some Canadians took it seriously. Thoughts? Also, 20 McNuggets is $19 here, but free healthcare, right? LOL. Yeah, you know, you get free healthcare because you can't afford the chicken nuggets, so you can't get unhealthy, I suppose. Yeah, I believe that it would be if Canada were to leave the Commonwealth and then petition for territorial status, I would be game. That sounds good. I wish I was in northern Canada right now because I'm sweltering, for example. But at the same time, that's not going to happen. There's no possibility that the government would allow a vote to even go forward with annexation plans, territorial plans. Even if Canada were to leave the Commonwealth, that would require an entirely separate vote. So that's a pipe dream for a lot of people. Some people are taking it seriously, both people for and against it, by the way. Same with Greenland. Greenland first has to part from Denmark. Then it would have to petition for annexation. Now, in that case, because the population is so small, with a proper campaign, that would potentially be doable. This would probably alienate some of our allies. But then you get a lot of fuel and resources there. They're just not being extracted, so yeah, maybe it could work. With Greenland, possible. With Canada, not so much. Cygnus, a normal person would take off the leather coat if hot, and crank the air conditioner to continue the LARP. Well, here, the problem is I can't use the air conditioner because it would be too noisy. And I can't take the jacket off because it's too cool. Well, not cool. It's hot at the moment. But I look cool. Here, just a second, by the way, everyone. I think I hear a knock at the door. I'll be right back. Okay, that was anticlimactic. Apparently, there was just a package at the door. Dong ding. Let me see. Yeah, FB, that would be too normal. Exactly. I'm no longer interested in pretending to be normal in any way, shape, or form. Last speaking, scare actor, someone that works in a haunted horror house and scares people. Yeah, it sounds like a fun job. You know, you dress up as a vampire or something like that, and then you spook, people. That sounds fun. Kevin Bola, Quebecois are the most unseemly people on the planet. I don't mind the Quebecois. Actually had a couple of clankers from Quebec that came to the house, actually, and gave me some art. And it's really, really cool. I've had it in the background before. Jeffsky, Proud Boys sue DOJ for $100 million over J6 jailings. Okay, this I gotta see. Oh, excellent. We've got relatively breaking news. Proud Boys leaders seek $100 million over January 6th persecutions. Oh, I mean prosecutions. That's the word that they use anyway. The plaintiffs bring the suit to seek redress for the multiple violations of their constitutional rights, the document read. The lawsuit was filed in Florida by Henry Enrique Tarrio, the former chairman of the far-right group. It's only far-right in certain ways, but whatever. And Joseph Biggs, Zachary Rell, and Ethan Nordin, who all played leadership roles, plus Dominic Pezzola. Tarrio was convicted of crimes including seditious conspiracy for his role in planning the Capitol riot that sought to stop Congress from certifying Biden's election defeat of Trump in 2020, which never happened. He was ordered to serve 22 years in prison. Apparently the Proud Boys are now lashing back out at the DOJ. I support them in this. Number one, you had overcharging, quite clearly. It was clearly overcharging. You had, in many of these cases, people who are put in jail for an excessive period of time, or prison, rather, to the point where, and the conditions were so bad, goddamn, the U.S. Marshals had to be summoned to investigate the prison conditions and determined that half of these people couldn't even be housed there because the conditions were so overcrowded and terrible. Lord help them if the U.S. Marshals, by the way, ever go to the detention center in New Orleans, by the way. You have terrible prison conditions, excessive lengths of solitary confinement, overcharging, the deprivation of the ability to communicate with the outside world. You have literally every aspect possible for judicial corruption in this case. I support them. They should get the full $100 million, and they shouldn't settle for anything less. They should take them for every goddamn cent that they're worth. That's exactly what you should do. In the end, they'll achieve some sort of settlement, but I hope that it's on the upper end. I hope they take the DOJ for a ride. Is the public going to have to be the ones that pay up? Yeah. But even at $100 million, what am I paying? 30 fucking cents or something like that? Okay, that's fine. It's fine by me. Rather it go to Enrique Tarrio than bombing some Yemeni child. Last speak, and that also leans into my other previous super chats. True. Bystander syndrome sticks. In my culture, if you severely frighten your kid, you have to call their name for a while so their soul comes back, or they'll have night terrors in possession. What similar tales have you heard? That reminds me of a movie that I saw when I was a little kid, and I have no idea what the name was. It was about it took place, I think, in Mexico, like on the Day of the Dead. And a kid gets killed, and his friends have to, if I remember correctly, they have to donate each a year of their life to their friend in order to revive him so that he won't die or something like that. I can't remember the goddamn name of that movie. It's one of my favorites as a kid, but I never saw it again. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, it's funny how, like, multicultural experiences, like, one time in elementary school, we had the chairs arranged like it was a plane, and we watched a documentary on Mexico and ate peanuts and shit like that. It's funny how, when you don't try to force multicultural bullshit and ingrain it into people's minds and force them to, say, oh, all cultures are the same and stuff, they'll begin to accept one another. It's sort of like with Sesame Street back in the 90s. You shiver when it's cold out, you get, you sweat when the sun gets hot or something like that. There was a whole song about it. The idea was that people can get along together. Well, this makes sense. It was a positive message, and I happen to agree with it. Now it's like, hey, Whitey hates you. I was talking to a black dude outside of the Brooklyn Botanical Garden the other day, and we came to an understanding with regards to this. And we agreed completely. We're like, basically the system fucking hates both of us. They want me to hate you because supposedly you're going to stab me in the back because you're black. They hate you and they want me to hate you for that reason. And they want you to hate me because I'm whitey, basically. I'm keeping you down. It's not the government doing it. It's just me, a generic white folk. That's what they're doing. Damask, do you have experience with physical interactions with spirits or believe it's possible? Yes, I've told the story of my meeting with Stolas as a small child many times, actually. I've seen other entities, but most of those are probably just hallucinations from the drugs I was using at the time, admittedly. Tactical Gaming Network, Elon v. Trump, staged, maybe for the purpose of getting smaller bills passed instead, helping Tesla out, Elon returning to normal, or just some good fun. I think that it's being staged. I have a feeling, a sneaking suspicion that they're about to troll the entire legacy media. And if that's wrong, then I have a feeling that they'll reconcile anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Styx Hexen Hitler 1488. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that, I think. Yeah, there used to be someone who posed as a Nazi and was sort of replicating my content, I believe, and posting remarks on there. The best troll that's ever been on the channel, though, I have to say, is Spud Croyley and Wilberg Breder. You should look those up. I doubt there's anything still about them online that's not archived, but it was funny at the time. Yeah, Spud, when I started to support the MAGA movement, he said that I would stall out at 50,000 subscribers. How wrong he was. He no longer comments on the channel. The Spud Croyley is like a mock-up of like a toothless hillbilly, and Wilberg Breder is a mock-up of a gay Jewish hairstylist, actually. And trust me, Spud, if you're out there, I remember all of those times very fondly. I still remember a lot of the people from my past that have been involved with my trolley behaviors. From ICQ, from 4chan, from YouTube, certainly. I wish they still had a DM system. It'd make things a lot easier, and so forth. I still remember a lot of the usernames and a lot of the backstories. Like, there was Dogmy20F, and he was sort of my mentor in trolling, actually. And I went on a blitzkrieg, actually. Once I got sort of indoctrinated into realizing how fun trolling could be and how easy it was, I went on a blitzkrieg in early wave YouTube against channels that were like Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez related, like way, way back in the day. We're talking way, way back. And all of these mentally crippled people were like, oh, I want to suck Justin's cock and shit like that. And I would just comment on their channel and just say weird shit that often didn't make sense. And it would get them confused. They would reply. So on my YouTube channel, my original one, I absolutely wish, more than almost anything else, that I could dig out all of the comments that I made and that they made. It's not possible, but I really wish that I could. You would be laughing until your heart stopped, basically. It was some of the most fun I've had in my life. Then there was Sean John. Sean John on ICQ. He used to go completely apeshit for no reason. Then there was another one, I can't remember the username, but he would go into the chat room and he would just start rambling about his he would say, my ass, help, my ass, and stuff. He would do that until he got banned, and then he'd get banned, of course. Then he would just come back in. He would change his IP, because you can scramble the MAC address and refresh it, and he would do this over and over for hours and hours. And then there was this other one. I can't tell you exactly what was said. I've posted it before. But he had an Encyclopedia Dramatica article about him, and this is the one screen cap that I still have from ICQ. He apparently they were talking about how he was a racist Italian and hated the USA and Israel and stuff like that, and just went off on him. And then it invoked the N-word with regards to his nipples and penis, actually. Among other things. And I wish I had the second part. I didn't have time to screen cap it, unfortunately. But let me tell you, when ICQ started dying, because of my efforts mostly, which I take great credit for, And I deserve that credit. It was me orchestrating those attacks. For anyone who has ever used ICQ on a browser, I destroyed it. That was me, almost solely. I was the one calling in the raids, I was the one spamming the chat rooms, etc., etc. There were only a handful of other people involved. But towards the end, what happened is that mail.ru, which bought the site and wanted to transfer it over into being only a phone service, they began the process of cutting out the browser-based, the web-based service. And there was this one special day. I go into chat, and things are going absolutely crazy. Now, I asked one of the mods, what the hell is wrong? But they all hated me. My username used to be John Lennon, by the way. And this actually got me into my first marriage. That's a different story. But everything's going crazy. They no longer have mod status. There are no admins. Spam bots are everywhere. Everything's going haywire. And I tried to figure out what was going on, and what happened is that they had fired all of the moderation staff, actually. I don't know why they did that before they decommissioned the site, but they did. Now you've got Libra IRC and a few others that maintain the sort of same chatting capabilities, but it's not exactly the same. There aren't enough people on there to justify trolling. They're just not large enough. Yeah, that was one of the greatest days in my life, honestly. That would be in my top 10. Let's see here. By the way, please send no more super chats. We're going up on an hour 30, and it is a Friday, and it's really hot. I kind of want to lay down for a few minutes. Victor Elstad, fan of Depeche Mode, and would suggest a band. Oh, a band. Chelsea Wolf. I've heard that music, actually. Also, Trump and Elon could be fake fighting to get leftards to stop burning Tesla cars. This is actually a possibility, too. I think it's more they're just feigning it to distract, but yeah, that could definitely work for Elon. Yeah. That would make sense. Doc Holiday, I am going to donate $10 for your excellent commentary because you are the best content creator on the entire internet. One of a number. One of 9. Thank you very much. Bystander Syndrome. If you still have your old YouTube login, you can go into your Google account and download your data, including comments. Yeah, I don't think that would work because that was in 2007. I highly doubt that any of that data is actually backed up. Plus, it was never connected with my Google account because it's so old. Man, that would be one hell of a legacy account. Can you imagine? Anyways, I'm going to go offline now in order to do other things. Yeah. This is probably my new time slot. I'm still tinkering around. I mean, I can do it at any time. I can do it at 7 p.m. I can do it at 10 o'clock in the morning. I can do it at noon. So I'm trying to figure out sort of where clankers sort of are gravitating towards with regards to them. Because I know also I'm competing with other people in these slots for, the clicks and shit. So I need to be aware of that. That's about all. Peace out.